Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ohio State Buckeyes call-in show. I'm your co-host Ryan Stano.
I'm Garrison Gaddy.
Garrison, we're here an hour earlier because I've got some work I got to do. Got to cover some basketball for the day job, so we're talking to people a little bit earlier today. But before we go ahead and
You are
start
a
getting,
Pacers fan, right? Like you
I
are.
am a Pacers
Yeah.
fan, so this is work and pleasure. So
No,
this happens. It's great.
I still feel like my Pistons should be there, but it's okay.
Nah, but you know what? They put up a decent fight against the
Dude,
Knicks.
we're I, right. I saw this. I was on X earlier. It was like a possible trade. Of course, Cade wasn't in it, but like it was like a possible 4 or 5 man trade for Devin Booker. I'd be like, I would do it.
That would be
I,
interesting. That'd
we
certainly
need
be interesting.
we need another we need another star in Detroit. We need one more.
I mean, Cade's turning into one, but yeah,
Okay.
your hope, I guess, is Ivy or Duran turns into one. We'll see. I'll go ahead and drop the chat link in here for you guys, so you can go ahead and talk with us. But before we start taking calls, there's a couple things I wanted to talk to you about and get your feelings on it. First thing is we now know the game times for all of the non-conference games, and to
Yeah.
everyone's chagrin, the Ohio State Texas game is on at noon. That'll be noon. Grambling State will be 3:30, and the night game is Ohio at 7 o'clock, and that game's on Peacock. The first game, the Texas game, is at noon. The Grambling State game is on Big Ten Network. And I specific to the Texas game, I know you saw these comments from Mr. Del Conte over there at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The AD basically said, "Why would I want to move the game time to Sunday? I got church to go to on Sunday." Like that's it. Basically, it seemed like he was kind of deflecting, and it seemed like he was scared to play Ohio State anywhere, anytime, and that's the way I took it. It definitely wasn't a church thing. It was like, hey, I don't want to play Ohio State in prime time because that's a bigger advantage for them, and I don't want to play them at that time. What'd you think of those comments?
I'm not mad at Texas at all. I blame the networks. How dare Fox try and blame it on put it on Texas? That's how I feel. If I'm Texas, no, I don't need to reschedule the game. Look, we have donors, we got season ticket holders. People have gotten their private flights set. They've already got their Airbnbs already set ahead of time, months in advance. There's a lot of money already put into it. Everyone knows about it. Businesses, this is too much around the game for that to change anything of that date. And yeah, I get why everyone wants to think that it's on Texas or being scared to play at night against Ohio State or change the date. I put that on the network.
I'll say this. It is definitely annoying that Fox went ahead and drafted that game first because they're obviously going to put their premier games on at noon, and that is what it is. I don't blame Fox for wanting to get this game because it's obviously going to be one of the most watched college football games, specifically in the regular season, that there's going to be. But they didn't. It is still soft on Texas's part to not want to, try to take on Ohio State at a more reasonable time. I guess I shouldn't say at a more reasonable time. At a time that Ohio State fans want. Like they're like I said, I still think they're afraid. However, I also, like you, I don't necessarily blame them as much because, quite honestly, it is a bigger advantage for Ohio State. So why would they want to move the game? Like, I get it, but they're still being soft.
What do you were there any other times you thought were interesting? Of course, we got the Grambling State games at 3:30, and then 7 o'clock on Peacock. Ohio, the biggest in-state rivalry in all sports: Ohio State versus Ohio University, the Bobcats.
That game's certainly annoying. That's the night game. It's probably going to be the only night game that the Buckeyes have.
At this point, we got to play UCLA.
Yeah, because you look down the line, Penn State, that seems like it's going to be a noon game. Like, that just seems, based off of the draft order that Fox, CBS, and NBC have, it seems like that is going to be a nooner. Minnesota. It's either Minnesota or UCLA. I think. I think you're probably right on that, and I'm not convinced it's either of them. So they, acquiesce to give Ohio State one home night game, and that's the game. And of course, they throw it on Peacock, so it's not even, on the big NBC crew or anything like that. So
you know what I will
we'll
say
see.
about it, though? It will be cool for the state. There's gonna be a lot of family ties within, gonna be at the game. So I am gonna go to the game. So
You're going to that game, okay?
Yeah. That's gonna be my first game of the year. So
Okay.
I'm choosing 3. I know I'm gonna make that one because it's a night game, and I think it'll be fun. But no, I think I've been to an Ohio Akron game before, and or Miami of Ohio game, and it's really cool to see like all the in-state banter. It's cute. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that that's the game that they decide to put, in the night of the. But I tell you what, I've been furious if they threw the Grambling State game on at night instead. Like that would have been so much worse.
That would have been terrible. They couldn't. You can't do that to an HBCU.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just going to say.
Bring up Tim.
I was going to say one more thing before we go ahead and bring up Tim. Just one other thing that I wanted to ask your thoughts about. I know we talked about him briefly. It might have been even last show, but now Richard Wesley did go ahead and decommit from Oregon. And we were theorizing that could happen, especially after he went ahead and set a official visit to Ohio State and a bunch of other schools. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on if you think this is trending towards Ohio State possibly landing some of his skills after Dan Lanning jumped in a pool for him.
First off, it was really fun. I was listening to Coach JB this morning, and they were talking about him jumping in that pool with Managers, and then 17 days later, he decommits. It's a bad look, and and you go back to they're playing for clicks. It looks
seems
bad,
that way.
Dan. It looks bad, Dan, but I do think that this is an Ohio State Alabama situation now. Based on where you look, it looks like Alabama has the edge on that. Of course, the Texas A&M visit is to be decided. So the kid wants to know if he wants to even visit Texas A&M. Honestly, and what that tells me is that it's an Ohio State Alabama situation. Man, do I think we're gonna do that? Do I think we can do it? Yes. Do I think we're going to? No. And I don't think it's gonna be on any fault of Ohio State. I think Ohio State's coming on here late in the game late. Bam has been there with Oregon for a long time now for him. So no, but if Ohio State was to land him, if the staff on the defensive staff was able to get him, that being Larry Johnson.
I say I'm looking at you, Larry.
But we talked about this, and we said that we believe that Ryan Day and Matt Patricia are in on this recruitment also, and they need to be. They should be. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. It'd be nice if Ohio State could get him. I like you. I'm a little pessimistic, but anything can happen, especially with the decommitment. That when someone else decommits and right after you're announced as one of the schools he's going to visit, you always got a shot. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and bring in our first caller.
Go
ahead.
Real quick, everyone, if you haven't already, everyone, please check out the join button right below the video.
Yes.
If you see our memberships, we just actually did a video with Coach Dirk. Everyone go check it out. A lot of people didn't know about it because it was just going to be for members. Then we decided why not everyone go in there and watch it. We actually, during the live show, Ryan, the Sanchez's were in there watching the whole time while we're in there.
Oh.
So I was really cool. Talk to his parents in there, and but everyone go check it out. Of course, the 3 tiers being the Blocko Club, JT wasn't short, and we don't give a damn. And while we're here, shout out to all of our members: Agent Posh, Queen Doreen, AZ Buckeye, Philly Fan, Ake Rock, where one goes, Matthew Miller, James Williams, Kinetic C, W2, Open Mike, Robert Howard, and Stephen Helligan. And there we go.
There we go. Let's go ahead and bring in our first caller. What's going on, Tim?
What's Tim?
What's up, y'all?
Well, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can barely hear you.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, there we go. There we
That's
go.
better. That's better.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, 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 good. Earlier today, I found out that Dan Lanning he uh, uh uh, they just made that Penn State game a whole lot tougher for Oregon.
Yeah,
Supposed to
Yeah,
be
they did.
supposed to be a whiteout.
It's the whiteout game. Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
They
I'll tell you what,
they
man. I always pray we had that game at noon. At least when we play there.
Yeah, I was to say it's at the shoe this
Yeah.
year, so no whiteout for that one.
they finally get what they wanted.
Tim, do you think Penn State wins that game?
Uh, I I had them kind of losing before they announced that, but since it's going to be a whiteout, they might struggle. Oregon,
They might.
Yeah.
They might. I personally, I have.
because the Oregon fans, they probably uh, they put they probably wanted Joe Clatt and Gus Johnson to be the announcer.
Yeah,
but
I
but they
think
have
Penn
to
State's gonna win that game.
but they have to deal with the Saturday night primetime crew instead.
Yeah,
No,
I think Penn State's gonna win that game.
I think I mean I do believe nighttime and Happy Valley is the best atmosphere in the Big Ten, at least
Yes.
top five at least in the country.
Yes.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see Oregon playing there. Honestly, it will be like their first real. I mean, yeah, it's the first time going to I think real Big Ten country. I mean, they faced Ohio State 4 years ago now, but that was a noon game. You know, nighttime in the Big Ten's a little different. Like it's different. Like a night game in Iowa is a little bit different than a noon game in Iowa. So that's really cool for them. Happy that they get to experience that. Um, I mean, you
Your
guys
fan base,
at night. You guys play Oklahoma. I'm guaranteeing a W for Oklahoma in that game now because you guys don't do well in night
Yeah.
games. You guys do not do well in night games in Michigan's history.
yeah.
How you feel?
It's not like it feels great.
How do you feel about nighttime in Norman? Oh, I like that's nighttime in Norman. That sounds great.
Not good.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
remember Ohio State was good at nighttime in Norman.
y'all just dodge a bullet. Cause y'all just dodge a maze out. Y'all dodged it.
Go
It's
ahead.
either going to be at 12. It's either going to be Big New kickoff at 12 against Luke DeFico or 3:30 on CBS against Luke DeFico. They haven't decided what time of day. Are they going to do at 12 o'clock one or a evening slash nighttime?
Yeah, I mean,
They haven't announced the strikeout game yet.
You said a stripeout game
They haven't announced that yet.
for what? You guys
Nope.
over Penn State?
They did one last year for my team, and it looked like they haven't announced that game yet. So
No, you guys will probably do that like I would assume you guys do something like that for like a homecoming game or a game
the
that.
homecoming,
I mean, maybe.
the homecoming game is the Maze Out game.
Oh, okay. Well. Let me see. Let me see your guys' schedule, because then I can kind of get a gist of. Because you're gonna do it for a game you probably win, or you do it for a game like a semi big football. I would say game, right? A semi big game. See Michigan football schedule. I can see
Well,
you guys
because
doing it for the Nebraska. No, 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 no.
No,
the last time they played
Wisconsin's.
Washington,
You guys are away that game.
the last time they played Washington at home, that was a maze out, but that was at nighttime. So I don't think they wanna do that for Washington. There might be a regular game.
no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wisconsin. I would say either Wisconsin or the Washington game.
agreed.
Hey, something interesting about your guys' schedule. I think is gonna possibly affect your wins and losses. A lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. You guys don't have any home games back to back,
Yeah,
so it's gonna
it was
always
kind of strange.
every other on the road is. I've never seen a schedule like that. But shoot, Tim, you got anything else, man?
So what's your schedule like? The back-to-back home games
Uh,
besides the non-conference.
Besides
um,
the non-conference, yeah, we have. So I'm looking at it right now. Ohio State
mhm.
has back-to-back home games. Late in the year, UCLA and Rutgers.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than that, in Big Ten play, no, which is not unusual.
What's going on? What's going on with so what's going on with Fox? They normally choose Ohio and Penn State right away. Uh, this year, it might be on CBS. You think?
No, it'll probably be a big noon kickoff. Fox, based off of the
We
draft
know
order,
what's gonna
Fox is probably
happen.
going to take. Yeah,
We know what's gonna happen. That game's gonna be at noon in Columbus, when it should be at nighttime with a bunch of flashing lights and
yeah.
SEALs,
But
Navy SEALs jumping out of helicopters. It should be the whole shebang. But we're not gonna get that because Fox hates America.
I'll play him anytime, any place.
I'm
Penn
sorry, not
State's
Fox. FS1 does.
fair, fair.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean,
They
Ohio
should
State.
switch to to night games. Cause when they did the Big Ten conference game, the same when they did the Big Ten conference games, they did the night games of the Big Noon Kickoff crew.
No, but that
They
was before
did the
kickoff came though. That if you look back at the Ohio State Oklahoma game in Norman, Joe Cladd and them did the net as a night game. They did the same thing the next year for Ohio State Oklahoma, but big noon kickoff wasn't a thing back
Yeah, they hadn't invented it yet.
then. Then they sadly invented it.
Yeah.
yeah. But the last three times that Fox had that they hosted the Big Ten the Big Ten game, they did it at nighttime with Joe
You
Clatt.
talking about the Big
So,
Ten
so,
championship? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, but but why can't they commentate the Friday night, then Saturday at 12? Why can't they do that?
Because they're not going to do that for the Big Ten championship game. The
Yeah.
game, I mean, that's the biggest game. They're going to put that on prime time. And Fox does have the game this year. It'll be at 8 o'clock. And hopefully Ohio State is back in Lucas Oil. I know it's been a while. But Gus and Joel will be on that call at 8 o'clock at night, which is nice.
It seems like for them to get for them to get back there, they have to beat my team, and so
That's
far
right.
they haven't been doing that.
Well, well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think Michigan's record is going to be this season? You think they get to 10 wins, 9 wins?
They're gonna win. They just they win 10. They're back in the playoffs. They win 11. They might play in the conference. They go under the defeated and somehow win at Norman at night. At night, they might they might
You right.
be going back to the
The
Indy,
checks.
but right now, out of I just got them going 10 and losing, seeing the Oklahoma, but even though that the Oklahoma, they they favored by 3 points to lose. They favored by a field goal to lose though. Even though it's a night
I
game.
thought Oklahoma was the favorite.
No,
Yeah.
it opened
I think they
up
are.
it opened up at three in the half
Yeah,
at
Oklahoma
first.
was the favorite.
Yeah, but then they changed it to Michigan. They must have changed it back because of the night game.
Now I swear they've been the favorite.
I think they've been the favorite most of the year.
Y'all would not be the favorite. And listen, I don't know what you Michigan fans need to hear, but you guys are talking about. See, all right, and I think I have this problem with Ryan too. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't you, Ryan. It was
With
someone
me,
else. It was someone else. But I have a problem with everyone being so down on Oklahoma as if they're gonna be down for 10 years. They've had a
yeah, no, they
they've
stay.
had a bad stretch here. They've had a bad little stretch of 4 years. Okay, in that 4 years,
That's not a little stretch, Garrison.
It's, I call Michigan's last 4 years a little 3 years a little stretch. It's a little stretch.
Okay, 3 years is different than 4 years. 4 years is almost half a decade.
Okay, fine. It's a pattern at this point. But Oklahoma has the talent. Oklahoma has the quarterback. Oklahoma has the running back. Do they have the head coach? I don't know, but he has the defensive mind. He's brought in a new offensive guy who can take them to the next level. I believe they can happen for them. Oklahoma is not one of these other sorry candy arse programs. It's Oklahoma. So when you guys go down to Norman, now hey, listen, hey, Tim, not everybody can be Ohio State, step foot to Norman, and just kick their arse everywhere. I don't think you guys are built like that. So when you guys get down to Norman, I hope.
Remember that game? This was the 22 season, and the Auburns and Tigers. They hosted. They played against the Penn State, and that was a night game, and they lost pretty bad at home.
Also,
And Penn State.
I'll say this. I was looking for the odds for the Michigan Oklahoma game. Seems they've been pulled off the board. I can't find them anywhere. I could see Michigan against New Mexico. I could see Ohio State versus Michigan. I can't see Michigan versus Oklahoma.
As I'm saying, it was my.
Well, one more question: if Oklahoma, if they win by 20 or 30 or 30 points against with Michigan. Should Arch Manny be nervous? Be nervous when when it's his turn to face that team? Will Texas be nervous?
Anytime Texas faces Oklahoma, he should be afraid and ready.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Texas is still one of the most talented teams in the country. I know that's a rivalry game, but I think Texas is too good. Texas is really good.
Yeah, I thought the same about our Buckeyes last year.
Fair enough.
And wasn't that long ago when Oklahoma blanked Texas? Didn't that happen? That happened not that long. Was that vice versa?
I think it might have been vice versa.
I gotta check this out.
The last time they lost, the last time they beat Texas. Okay, that was their last year. In the Big 12 conference, they were supposed to have a rematch, but they ended up losing to the in-state rival.
All right, I'm pulling it up. What year was that when someone got blanked? Okay, that was Oklahoma. Yeah, that was Oklahoma that got blanked. It was 49 to
Yeah.
0 in
I was
2022.
gonna say, I think it was Oklahoma that got their ass kicked.
Yeah, that was bad. What year am I thinking of when they've had some crazy games, man?
Yeah.
You thinking of 23? What
These games.
you thinking of 23?
Yeah, Oklahoma beat that was a close game. That was a good game. No, I think Oklahoma's getting a little underrated this season. I think they're gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, Tim. Appreciate you calling in.
Okay, wait a minute. I finna
Oh,
find.
he got something for us. Tim got something for us. We'll wait.
Oklahoma versus Michigan odds.
Yeah, the Michigan odds, like I said, I saw them for New Mexico. I saw them for Ohio State. I couldn't find any for the Oklahoma game.
Hey,
Okay,
Bevel's
I, I
bodyguard.
I just found the odds. It says I just found the odds. It said on FanDuel minus 4.5 Michigan.
Ain't no way.
That's not true. I looked at FanDuel before. That's for what? That's for winning a certain amount
Are
of
you
games.
looking at tennis?
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get a football.
Let me see. This can't be right. It's basketball.
Oh, okay. It says okay. I found it. It's
I can't. It. You found it? Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I don't think it's there. I think this is
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait until closer to game time to get those. So
All right, Tim. We're gonna bring it down for buddy.
yeah.
Talk to you.
Oh, okay.
See you, man.
see you, Tim.
See ya.
Yeah, I
But we'll
don't know
see.
if what do they not have that line?
No, they don't have that line. I don't know why. They've only got certain week 1 lines right now. Like Ohio State, Texas is up there. Like they've got, I don't know. I mean, they don't have a lot of the week 2 lines up. That's the thing. That's a week 2 game. So they're probably gonna wait to see how they look early on before they go ahead and throw that line up there. They have the big matchups up there, other than the week 1 matchups. So we'll see. But
By the way, I have something for you. We didn't get to talk about this. I want to bring this up.
okay.
So this right here is from the brothers from Rock Boys. Really cool Big Ten show. Everyone, if you haven't yet, check them out. Awesome show. They talk about the Big Ten and everything beyond. But I wanted to show you this. So this right here is their best cornerback duos coming to the season. And smack dab there at number 6, right there, you see Davidson Ignosa and Jermaine Matthews Jr. What are you expecting from these two this season?
I'm expecting a high level of play. We talked about Ignosin, earlier. If he doesn't commit penalties, he's really good because he's the most physical corner on the roster, and he doesn't allow guys to separate, and he can come up and help with the run game. So I expect them to be good. I think both of us are still expecting Jermaine Matthews to be slightly better. But I still think that they're both. I mean, I would have them personally probably 4th or 5th on this list. But I can't quibble if someone says, "Well, Ignosin was the most penalized corner in the country," because then I've got nothing. I've got no retort because that's just true, and it frustrates the hell out of every Ohio State fan.
Yeah, so I have been a huge fan. Well, here, let me start first with Ignosin. I think that he was convinced to come back this season because there's a lot that he could still progress as a corner. I
Well,
think
yeah,
he
he
has.
said he wanted to be a first-round pick. That's why he came back.
Yeah, exactly. And he has the tools. It's when you watch him, it's not that he isn't there, right?
Yeah.
It isn't that he's not in good position most of the time. It's that he's a little handsy. I mean, I've said on here multiple times. Iggy plays corner like a linebacker, but I do believe that he's usually around the ball. He's made spectacular plays like we saw in the game against Penn State. That's probably one of the best interceptions I've ever seen in my life in a Buckeye uniform. Um, on top of that, I think he's the best tackling corner in college football. I think he's earned
Yes.
that. A lot of the guys in that room trust him. He's really good. I think that this season, if he puts it all together, he can be really dynamic. Jermaine Matthews Jr. I was there, Ryan, when he had that pick six. I got to see that live,
Mm.
and at that moment, I was like, because coming out of high school, I was like, okay, I think he's a really good football player. Has a lot of swagger to him, but does it match on the field at the collegiate level? And though it wasn't the biggest opponent, to be a true freshman, come out there and make a play like that, that shows something. That shows you have a little bit of the it factor in you. And then you fast forward to I guess a little backtrack last season against Texas, where Burke wasn't in and he played most of the game, if not all the game. And he was really good against guys like Matthew Golden, who ran what did Matthew Golden look, a
4.229, I think.
Who's out there covering really good, fast athletes at Texas that had a receiver. Played really well that game.
Yep.
Throughout the season. So I just believe Jermaine Matthews is like other Buckeye fans have, that he's been the best cover corner in this room for the last 2 years now, and we can finally get to see him shine. And so yeah, it's really exciting.
Agreed. While we wait for some more callers to go ahead and line up here in the queue, there's one other thing I wanted to get to before I know you got to read something. What did you think of Greg Sankey's whining that came out today? I know you saw this. You had to have seen it. So for those who don't know,
I didn't see it yet. I saw something about it, but I was busy doing something else.
Okay, well then let me go ahead and read.
Oh wait,
read the quote. But if you want to read first, go ahead.
Let me read this, and because chances are you're about to trigger me. So
good point. So go ahead.
So everyone, before Garrison goes crazy, get your business, product, service, or personal brand to the next level by partnering with the Voice of College Football. Let's discuss how you also can reach your target market. Check out the experience of one of our current partners, that being Win Agency, here on the screen, posted on the screen here. We are here to deliver for you. Contact us at sponsorships@vocfb.com. Again, that is sponsorships@vocfb.com. Today.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
So, about Greg Sankey. So, first of all, he and the SEC are trying to basically change the college football playoff format to have an automatic 4-4-2-2-1 model. That basically means 4 from the Big 10, 4 from the SEC, 2 from the Big 12, 2 from the ACC, and 1 from the group of 6. Basically, He wants to eliminate the selection committee because he was pissed off that SEC teams got left out last year. And this is the exact quote that he had. This is from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. This is what he tweeted. Greg Sankey is laying the groundwork for a serious change to the CFP selection committee's criteria, describing his conference as not like any other, and its schedule stands alone. I do think there is need for a change. How do you explain some of the decisions made? How about this, Greg? How do you explain that Alabama got in over an undefeated Florida State a couple years ago? How do you explain that you're trying to fight for teams that have 3 losses, 3 bad losses, I might add, to get in over some of the teams that got in this year? Explain that to me, Greg. He's just being a whiny little bitch. And the fact that NIL has made paying players legal now everywhere has got the SEC in a tizzy. It doesn't seem like they can compete. That's my takeaway. What say you?
Have you ever seen that video of that lady with a bunch of cash and she says, "It smells like broke people in here"?
That's right.
That's what it sounds like from Greg Sankey. Nick Saban again pointed this out years ago, talking about how everyone thinks that the money would would kind of spread out between football, and that it wouldn't do that. It would just show who has the real money, and it'll make the have-nots. It would push them further down than the haves, right?
Yeah,
like the Ohio States, like the Tetons, like the even the Nebraskas of the world, right? Or even some of the you think back when guys like Dabo Sweeney are complaining about NIL and about the transfer portal because he's not going after because he probably can't get players out of it. Why? Clemson is a small institution. It's not a big college. A lot of these universities down, I would say, look, well, once you get halfway past the Appalachian Mountains, you go down, you don't go past the Mason-Dixon line, or the Mississippi, the Mississippi. Those are a lot. There's a lot of elite, powerhouses in college football that have been there for decades, but they don't have the same amount of the money that some of these northern schools have, or even the USCs or the Penn States of the world. I mean, you look at schools like
or even Notre Dame.
Dame, Rutgers. I mean, Northwestern. I mean, it's a little different up here, and so I don't like the fact that you sit here and watch program. And let's be honest here, he's sitting here talking about Bama. That's what he's talking about. He's out here crying, pull your just tearing up about Bama. That's what it basically is.
Which I gotta be honest, of last year, South Carolina had a better argument than Alabama did.
They did. I told you the other day. I told you that I thought that South Carolina was a playoff team. I never believed Bama was. Not for 1 second. You can someone could sit and point out how Ohio State lost to Michigan last year, right? But I can point to another game, 3 games in total, that they lost to unranked teams. One being Vanderbilt, and then Oklahoma dragged them across the football field.
Yep,
dragged them. It was really bad to watch, and that wasn't a really good. That was probably the worst Oklahoma team we've seen
since before Bob Stoops got there, probably
over almost 2 decades. Yeah. So it's sad to watch the mighty SEC. No, I'm lying. It's not sad to watch. Well, right now we're watching is the mighty SEC crumbling. The Big Ten just won 2 national championships in a row. And as much as I hate that they won one, it did happen. The Big Ten, a few years ago, I was talking to Mark Rogers about this the other day or yesterday, and how there was a conservative effort about 10 years ago, Ryan, where the Big Ten started really, or the Big Ten programs really started paying head coaches. And the Big Ten got better head coaches. A lot of guys like you had the Martintonios. You had the that's when Jim Harbaugh was on his way in. You had Urban Meyer.
James Franklin got paid.
James Franklin coming out of 2 9 seasons at Vanderbilt, back-to-back bowl wins, back-to-back top 25 finishes at Vanderbilt. Mike Locksley at that time was a hot name in college football, and he got the Maryland. Yep. So I think that you see that the Big Ten landscape in terms of recruiting, we're getting more kids now. We have the East Coast and the West Coast. Kids from the South still come up to programs up here in the Midwest. Yeah, man, that's why he's upset. The Big Ten's kind of we have the contract, the television contracts. It's a little different. He's upset about it.
Yeah, it's quite frankly, it's hilarious, and I don't know what he is going to do once. Quite frankly, I don't know what he's going to do because it looks like the other conferences want the 5 AQs and 11 at larges once it does go to 16 teams. That's what they're pushing a little bit more, and that includes the Big Ten. The Big Ten's been more agnostic on it, like they haven't really announced exactly what they're doing, but it would make more equitable sense for the sport of college football for them to do that. The SEC, what they proposed also was they wanted to have the P4 just pull away from the NCAA completely and be able to, have full autonomy on football and, other stuff, but also still be able to compete in NCAA championships. Like, I don't think you can have it both ways. You get one or you get the other.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I just want to point out Mike 3883 says Wolverines should slap around Oklahoma and Clemson should do the same to LSU. To the first one, I don't know where people get this mindset. I really don't. On the Oklahoma side, again, they have the better quarterback. That just I would say of the three running backs, they have the better one. But you guys do have a duo. But that's what they have. Their O-line is gonna be better than it was last year because last year they had too many injuries on there and it was really young group. Last year they lost their top 6 wide receivers to injury. That's not gonna be a situation this year, and their wide receivers are better than what they had last season. They're bringing back most of their defense, which was a good defense last year, is gonna be a good defense this year. While Michigan this year has a freshman quarterback, it's gonna be his first road game is a night game in Norman, Oklahoma. You still don't know what you have at wide receivers. You still don't have a left tackle. Yes, you have running backs, but we still don't know what you really are at tight end. And for all intents and purposes, I'm going to sit here and tell you that Oklahoma still has a better coach. So
now, while that might be true, are you just completely dismissing the fact that Oklahoma went like 500 last year?
No, I'm not dismissing the fact that Oklahoma lost a lot of offensive linemen and their top 6 wide receivers with a really bad quarterback. A quarterback Ryan, who's our size.
Okay, but
he was taller than Kyler Murray. He was smaller than Kyler Murray.
Look, I understand Oklahoma. They lost to Navy last year, like in their bowl game.
Last year has nothing to do with what I'm seeing this season.
Okay. This is Brent Venables. Like, he went 2-6 in the SEC last year. I understand they didn't really have any wide receivers. I understand they had some, new offensive linemen. But you're Oklahoma. You can't go 2-6 in a conference. I know it was their first year in the SEC. Sure, that's going to make things harder. But you lose to – and the thing is, in a lot of these games, they weren't even necessarily competitive. Like, you lose 34-3 to Texas, 35-9 to South Carolina. You're losing 26-14 to Ole Miss. You lost 37-17 to LSU. Like, these are games that aren't close.
When you have bad quarterback play, no receivers, and no O-line, I expect you to look like that.
Okay, but we've talked about this. Oklahoma's quarterback play isn't going to be that much better. I know.
Wait. John Mateer is not much better than what they had last season.
People love Jackson Arnold.
That is an asinine statement. That is crazy.
We talked about this before. You are higher on him than I am. But to go – Brent Venables has gone 6-7, 10-3, and 6-7.
You're talking about Oklahoma like they're Wisconsin.
Right now, they kind of are.
No, they are.
They've turned into Wisconsin.
If the two got on the field, they are molly-whopping Wisconsin.
Look, I know this guy's a Texas fan, but this is a good point. Oklahoma doesn't have any depth. The recruiting classes have not been good.
All right, then both of you tell me about Michigan's depth. Please inform me about Michigan's depth on offense. I will wait for it. I'll wait.
I am not saying Michigan's got a whole lot of depth either. I think this is going to be a slap fight. I'm not saying this is going to be some sort of great football.
Well, I think the problem is when we sit here and say they're going to slap around Oklahoma, just in order to slap around a team,
that I disagree with.
You need the offense to do so. And then what was the second game he said?
Clemson and LSU.
Oh, yeah. LSU's not getting slapped around by Clemson. That's not happening.
I don't think so either. People LSU, are too high on Clemson.
I think that's gonna be a high-scoring game.
I think people are too high on Clemson, but I also think people might be a little bit too high on Garrett Nussmeier. I think it's. I think he's.
You are Mr. You're trying to sell me. No, wait.
right.
I don't know what is in the water and whatever he's drinking today, everybody.
Sponsor of Ohio State football, Raising Cane's.
Oh, by the way, they're building one in West Michigan, dude. I'm
nice.
over the moon. But
you're gonna love it.
Ryan's over here defending Michigan on why they can beat Oklahoma, but then wants to tell me about why LSU can't be is the quarterback situation not as good.
Okay.
Or what? Oh,
first of all, I did not say that.
Oklahoma doesn't have a good quarterback situation. Now LSU does it. Do you think
no,
Clemson has?
I did not say. First of all, I did not say that Michigan was going to beat Oklahoma. In fact, I am on record saying Oklahoma is going to beat Michigan. I am on record with that. However, I do think Oklahoma's quarterback situation is worrisome. I do think Garrett Nussmeier is good. I'm going to put that right out there. He's good. But people are talking about him like he's a Heisman Trophy contender.
Oh, he is. He is.
No.
I already know he's going to be in New York.
Come on.
I think Nuss is going to be in New York. I think Lagway is going to be in New York. I think Julian's going to be in New York.
TJ Lagway?
I think Lagway is.
Come on.
Listen, I'm not sitting here saying that they're going to the national championship, but I think Lagway is their Moses.
Oh my!
I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like some programs just luck up and get really good receivers. Florida's one of them. They get special quarterbacks. They get really special quarterbacks at Florida, bro. They just do.
Well, let me tell you this. As someone who's watched Anthony Richardson in the pros for 3 years, I'm not so sure how special he really was. I think DJ Lagway.
Real quick to the Super Sticker. Appreciate the $9.99. Appreciate you, man. What were you saying? What craziness were you spitting here about the best quarterback in college football?
First of all, DJ Lagway is not even the third best quarterback in his conference.
I think he's going to be, in my opinion.
No, come on.
My opinion.
And as far as Heisman Trophy, the guys in New York, I actually think it's going to be.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's get our official preseason.
Yeah, here's my Heisman list.
All right.
Cade Klubnik. I actually do think, and I know you've talked about it, and I've said pump the brakes, but I do think Julian Sayin might be there. So give me Julian Sayin. I honestly think Jeremiah Love might be there.
Okay.
And give me and give me. It's a toss-up right now because I think there's probably only be four Heisman finalists at most this year in New York. It's a toss-up for me between Arch and I think probably Nuss.
Pick one.
It's certainly not Lagway.
Pick Arch or Nuss.
Give me Arch.
Okay. All right. So, let me. I'll do my official here.
Okay.
So first, yes, I am going to start with Lagway, and this is my reason why. I think Lagway's going to get a lot of points for leading what is a team that is – Florida is a talented team. Let's not get this twisted. They have a lot of talent on that team. But
have you looked at their schedule?
And hear me out, right? This is where I'm going with it. I have said on here, all right, for everyone that doesn't know, let me state my DJ Lagway take, okay? I don't believe DJ Lagway is the same type of player, like different skill sets as a Tim Tebow. But he's closer to like a skill set of a Cam Newton, right? I'm not saying that he is Cam Newton. I'm talking about the skill set that he possesses. Guys like that, no matter what's around them, they win the game. Your team may be better, but those guys win the game. I think DJ Lagway is going to have the stats to show for it because you need the stats for it. But I think in that brutal schedule that they have, I think he gets some very important wins in there, and I think he has Heisman moments. Not a Heisman moment. I think he has moments. I think that some guys are just that good, and I think DJ Lagway, if he is able to stay healthy, if his coaching does not hold him back, because I think the same way about him, the same way I felt about I said about Underwood, the same thing I would say about a guy like a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields. If you fail with those quarterbacks, it's the coaching. It's more than likely the coaching.
We don't win the Heisman Trophy if you go 6-6 or
I don't
7-5.
I think they're going 10 I think they're going 10-2. I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my shot, Ryan.
All right.
I think DJ. Here. Wait,
real quick. Let me tell you the argument for saying over Arch, Ryan Day. That's the argument.
Yes.
He's produced a Heisman Trophy finalist at quarterback every year he's been head coach, except for Kyle McCord. That's the one guy. I guess Will Howard too. So, but they won the national championship that year. So
I want to point this out, okay?
That's your argument.
All right. I think he gets the win at Miami. By that time, I do believe that's going to be a big-time game.
Hold on. You skipped LSU.
I'm backtracking. LSU, I don't think he gets, but I think he plays really good in that game. Because that's going to be at 7:30 at nighttime. But we cannot sit here and say that. Like, we have not seen crazy things happen in football. If DJ Lagway goes into Baton Rouge at 7:30 and wins, that's a notch, okay? He's going to have opportunities.
Sure, it's a notch. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think they lose to Texas.
Yes.
I think they lose to Texas. I think.
All right. So you say they lose. So you're saying they lose at LSU and Texas so far, correct? Because you said if.
I'm gonna call. I'm calling my shot. They're gonna beat. They're going to Texas A&M. They win that. Beat Mississippi State. I think they're gonna beat Georgia. I think they're better than Georgia this season. I think they're gonna beat. I'm not a respecter of persons of this year of Georgia. I'm just not. I told Georgia fans this in a space yesterday. They know this about me. They know I feel this way. And I think that's going to be one of Georgia's few losses. I think they win that rivalry game. Kentucky win, at Ole Miss win, Tennessee win, Florida State win. I think they're going 10-2. I think DJ Lagway is going to do it.
I think at best they go 8-4.
Okay, and that's fair. Okay, now second, I am saying Julian Sand. Doreen, I'm not sure if you're saying Sand, what? Well, listen, Julian Sand is. I mean, when did you see Nick Saban talk about him?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was about to bring up. Also, is he was the guy that he wanted to have as his final quarterback ever.
Yes.
Until the
took over. That sold it for me. He's gonna be a really accurate quarterback out there, throwing it around the yards, the best wide receiver. Listen, Cardell Tate is seen as wide receiver 1 in the 2026 NFL draft. Jeremiah Smith is Jeremiah Smith. You have Brandon Ennis out there who's going to be slotting guys up in there, just running routes around, run circles around guys. You got Mylan Graham. You got possibly the best tight end in the country in Max Clare. He's going to be fine.
And the reason why Jeremiah Smith, I don't think, gets it is because there's been one true wide receiver to ever win the award. That was Devontae Smith. I mean, Howard also returned kicks and whatnot, so that's why he put, pure wide receiver Devontae Smith. And quite frankly, Ohio State's got more weapons where they like to spread it around a little bit.
Now, I will say this, though, and this is a different situation than what J.S. Sim was in that season. But I remember after the Notre Dame game, Ryan Day came out and said, a third of the pass plays were meant for JSN. Now, do I believe he could? Would I be surprised if he did that for Jeremiah Smith? No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
but that'll be the only way, because that coming off that bowl win against Utah, going to the next season, I thought it was possible for JSN to win the Heisman. I thought, because I knew we were going to throw the ball to him.
Yep.
Now,
who else you got? I gave you 4, so give me 4.
I think Nuss is going to get there off of numbers. I think Brian Kelly's going to let him go out there and throw that thing around the yard. And then last, I'll throw you a curveball. I'll make a hot take.
Okay, I like it.
The Big Ten sack record is 18.5, correct, by Chase Young?
Oh, okay. So we're going this route, yeah. 19.5. Chase Young.
19.5. Mind you, he missed 2 games.
He did miss 2 games. Thanks, Mike Loxley. Piece of shit.
Because of their schedule, I think there's a certain defensive player that could have an insane year.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw just for fun. I'm gonna throw in Mateo Uiagalelei. Last year he finished with 13.5, I believe, sacks, 15.5, something like that.
He had. Let me look it up right now.
I think it was one of those two, maybe 11.5. Maybe I'm overselling it.
So last year, and by the way, he's just a sophomore.
Yes.
He had. So he was good. He had 10.5.
He had 10.5.
10.5.
I think he's getting 17.5 to 18 sacks this season. And I think he has a big. I'm actually a really big believer in this kid. Like I'll tell you what. I'm actually selling myself right now on this. With that schedule they have,
the schedule is pretty easy.
He's gonna bulldoze a lot of. He's gonna bulldoze a lot. He looks like what I thought JTT was going to be.
Yeah, I'll say this: as far as left turns go, wild cards, I like that take. I like it because
it's not too crazy.
It's not too crazy. He's a really good player, and Ohio State had some problems blocking him in the Rose Bowl. Now they didn't allow too many sacks, but he's a good player. He's going to be a junior this year. This is going to be last year. He's there. He's going to be gone after this.
I had Wolverine fans trying to convince. One told me, he said Derek Moore was the best defensive end in the Big Ten. I said, excuse me.
It's absurd.
The conversation isn't even close right now.
Yeah, ridiculous. But their schedule sets up pretty good. They've got at Penn State. That's their toughest game. I think IU might give them a little bit of trouble, but they get that one at home, and everyone else is a relative cupcake. So, that's he's got a chance to put up some numbers. That's right. And if they go 11-1, they'll be in the playoff, and one of the top-rated teams going into it. So he very well could get an invite.
No, see, in battle, here's the problem. You're saying knock this off, but you're saying that. I mean, you know what's funny about Texas fans saying knock this off? I feel like we've been saying that to you guys every year for the past 10 years about you guys coming back. Poverty, all that oil money, poverty program. But no, I mean, but the truth of the matter is, and I mean, he has Arch in there. I don't think Arch is. Listen, dude, Arch has got to show me. I see a lot of people throwing him up there like he's the second coming of Christ. People putting him as a number 2 quarterback in college football. I gotta see it because at the end of the day, outside of his last name, tell me why he should be there. He had a good game against Mississippi State, and then I saw him play like dog shit against a very bad. Was it Louisiana Tech or something like that?
I don't remember who it was, but I'll tell you why I have him up there. Because he can run, he's got good instincts, he's got a strong arm, and his offensive line is pretty good. I'm not going to say his wide receivers are that great because the receivers are gone.
I don't know what the offensive line looks like.
The offensive line's going to look good enough for him to put up some numbers. And Texas, the thing is, the team around him is going to be good, and as well as I do, this has become kind of a team-ish award where it's the best player on the best team. If they go and make the playoff again, he's going to be the best player on the team.
No, and I'm not saying that Arch can't be up there. Like I said Arch like 10 minutes ago when we first brought this up. I think he's one of those names that should be up there. My thing is that you can't sit here and say up for other guys that it's crazy. When for Arch, in all reality, let's be honest, we've seen more out of DJ Lagway than we've seen out of Arch Manning.
I don't know if I have.
Oh.
I don't know if I have.
Oh.
We can talk about that some other time here.
Yeah, we'll. I think
these are 9 interceptions, DJ Lagway, compared to 12 touchdowns. Anything else you want to talk? Get in here quick before we get out of here.
No, just everyone is please like, share, subscribe. If you like the content here or the rest of the college football network, Voice College Football Network, check it out. Like we have Texas for guys like you, Bevo. We have Virginia. We got Miami. We've got Teton, aka Michigan. We got Oklahoma, Florida. We got a lot of teams, guys. So just check it out. Also, be sure to click that join button if you'd like to become a member here at the Voice College Football, and that is it.
Absolutely. Well, we will see you guys on Monday for the primetime live show. It'll be, just us two chopping it up. And I'm sure we're going to have a big story about recruiting to talk about. We got a bunch of recruits coming in this week, and I'm sure something's going to happen. So we'll see you guys Monday at 8. Oh, what do you got?
No, I didn't forget anything.
All right, okay.
Were you saying OH? Oh, yeah.
I was going to say OH.
IO.
World famous Ohio State Buckeyes